It's a shame that the church is so insular in seeing itself as just its congregations. I mean, so many times you hear at synod, in your congregations, or at presbyteries, in your congregations, it's like we're bigger, we're much bigger than that. And the minute we see ourselves as much bigger than that, we've got agencies, we've got schools, we've got hospitals, we've got so much going on out there worshipping God, and the minute we can see ourselves as that big, the minute we'll realise we're not dying, we're growing, you know. And if we could perhaps fund a lot more schools like this one, then there'll be kids worshipping God everywhere, and they'll be coming out of schools wondering, what do I do with my faith now? And we need congregations to know that they're there to welcome them and allow them to use the gifts that they bring, because they come from this school with such talent and such wisdom about God that it blows me away. I had a little 7-year-old who asked me to baptise him, and I rang his mum. She said, "That's what he wants. I've got no idea," you know, because she herself hadn't put that thought in his head. And so I ran some baptism classes and had quite a group of kids wanting to do baptism classes, and some parents, and even a couple of teachers, you know, and some senior kids. Anyway, we had 26 kids doing the classes, and adults. And part of one of these classes, I asked them, why do we need to worship together? Why do we need to gather in communities, in churches, and worship God together? And this little 7-year-old boy said to me, so that we can share from each other's wisdom. He's 7 years old. It's like, it blew me away. 7-year-old preaching the gospel to me. So I look for God in every encounter, and God's always there. So I mean, worship goes on in our congregations every Sunday. Worship goes on in this place every day, or every Monday to Friday, and even on a Wednesday evening. We've now started a faith community worshipping on a Wednesday night, and we have school families coming to worship together on a Wednesday night. It's just, you know, come see, it's alive. The gospel is being preached every day, and it's a great experience. It's great to be able to help nurture young Christians or people, even in other faiths, to nurture their values and their ethics, and so they come out of here knowing what's right and what's wrong, and they come out of here knowing that there's a deeper sense of self, and that, you know, if times ever do get hard, they have got their faith base to fall back on. Your regular congregation on the corner doesn't know how to embrace the gifts that kids bring, I think. It's a shame, because we know that this is our standard formula, a 4-hymn sandwich. I mean, we have one song every worship, we have half-hour worship. Kids can't sit still that long, you know, so to expect them to engage for 1 hour, sing lyrics to words that they don't understand. I use contemporary songs in our senior chapel, so that the kids then hear them on the radio later and then think about the message that came with it, you know, and they sing it in the song with with their parents driving, and then they tell their parents about the message. Singing hymns, I mean, even though we have more modern hymns these days, we need a rock band, or we need something that allows the kids to say, I can connect with this, but they can't connect with the worship that your standard congregation has. So it's unfamiliar. I'd love to find a place that could embrace the students that leave there, so that I can then say, go to that church and go to that church when you leave this place. They'll provide you with a weekly, opportunity, or they'll provide you with opportunities that suit your schedule, rather than you having to conform to theirs on a Sunday morning when you'd rather be out playing cricket or whatever. I mean, we wanted our faith community on a Wednesday night that we run for school families. We wanted to formalise that. We wanted to make it a part of the Uniting Church, to be recognised as a worshipping community. And to do that, we'd had to then be recognised as a faith community, which has all of its, you need to have elders, you need to have... We didn't want to do that. All we want is to have the Uniting Church recognise that this worshipping community is part of the Uniting Church. That's all we wanted. We didn't want to have all the other restrictions, I think, of how to be church, because I think that's part of what's killing the Uniting Church. All the you must have this, you must have that, and then you need to have these meetings and those meetings, and oh no, you can't do that because you haven't waited 2 weeks before that meeting. It's like, just worship God. Just celebrate your faith together. Praise God together. And yeah, so we haven't formalised our faith community. It's called ROC, Reach Out Community, and it reaches out to our wider community as well as the school community. And we've run things like, well, every term 1, I have Friday morning cuppers for all the preppy parents. So after they drop the kids off, they come in and, you know, we have fellowship together. And it's not worshipping God fellowship, it's community building fellowship. I mean, one of the things that keeps most people in their congregations is their friends, not their faith, their friends. And so we need to develop networks of friendships. The new kids that come into the school at year 7, we have what we call a kickstart. It's developing groups of friends and talking about your faith. We also have the Wednesday night worship. We have Rockya, which is Reach Out Community youth activities. Once a term, we've just had, last week, we had our Aitken Dance, where we, you know, invite kids to come and perform dance, but we also invite their parents, the wider school community, to come in, and we all dance and we all have fun together and we celebrate the gifts that God's given us. And our outreach goes beyond here, it goes to the wider community, and hopefully next year we're going to invite the wider community to come to our Wednesday night worship. And we've been holding things like grief and loss services that we open up, so we might even open up even more.